Welcome to the 7 clips in which we will address the European Union as a civilizing process, exploiting Norbert Elias' theory about the civilizing process, and as a model of, in Kantian terms, to ensure peace, at least among its member states. Uh, I would like to stress this because I think that this is one of the main lessons we can draw from the European Union. The European Union was the result of an integration process among countries that have fought each other for centuries, even for millennia. There has never been a longer period of peace in Europe among the member states of the EU than since the Second World War, after the beginning of the European integration process. If we just look at the century before, France and Germany had fought 3 wars among them and bringing the rest of the world into their own wars with the First and Second World War. So when we now take peace for granted in Europe, we should remember this aspect because this is not a irrelevant result. The fact that we take peace for granted is an expression of the success of European integration and of the creation of the European Union. Now, we can say with Elias that while we have animal pulsion regarding violence, we have been able to civilize ourselves to create restraint and self-control, and this has been made through the creation of the state, of the monopoly of coercion, through law, the rule of law, and its respect. And the more we are able to create larger polity that include a larger number of people and territories, the more we are able to ensure peace among those peoples and territories. So from this point of view, the European Union is an extraordinary example of a civilizing process, which has made war impossible among states that up until the beginning of the European integration process were fighting among themselves for centuries. At the same time, the way it did follow Kant's proposal regarding how to create peace in the world. Kant suggested that in perpetual peace that we had 3 crucial aspects. The first is that the constitution of each state should be republican, that in contemporary terms should be a liberal democracy. And this is one of the preconditions for member states to join the European Union. The second one is the creation of a federation of free states. And the European Union is something quite similar to a federation because it is based on the pooling and sharing of sovereignty, even if it doesn't have all the features that usually are attributed to the federal systems. But it's very close. We can say that the European Union is closer to a federation than to anything else. And third, there should be cosmopolitan right. So law should be applied universally. And indeed, inside European Union, European law is primacy over the national law. So the European law is universally valid within the European Union, and it has precedence over the national law. So if a national law contradicts a European law, the European law prevails. So basically, the European Union as a legal system has been built on the 3 definitive articles of perpetual peace proposed by Kant. You only have liberal democracies within it. They have freely decided to share and pool sovereignty at the European level, and they've endowed this European level with the possibility to ensure that its law is prevalent over national law, and they've created a legal system that is built around the European Court of Justice, which is able to solve controversies among member states through law rather than might. So if Italy and France have a disagreement about something, they will go to the European Court of Justice to decide who is respecting the law and who is not. They will not have to fight a war to decide who is the winner and who is right. Even if, as we all know, war decides might, not right. So from this point of view, the European Union is a very interesting experiment, an experiment we can learn from because not because, and I would like to stress this once again, We are interested in the European Union as a model, not because it's European. It doesn't matter that it's in Europe, but because it's the most advanced model we have so far in the world, there may be other in the future, about pooling and sharing of sovereignty. So what we can learn from the EU is what we can get from this model of sharing and pooling of sovereignty at supranational level. And I think this is very important when we look at wars around the world and how to create stable peace in those areas. How important it is to set up integration processes that bring former enemies together to common institutions so that the future controversies can be solved through law rather than through war. So this is the main absolutely one of the main lesson we can draw from the European Union, and I like to stress this because I think that this is particularly important for our project. Thank you so much for your attention.